opportunities for Indian youth in Japan. Okay. Again, I'm a freelance advisor in Indo-Japanese relations. I'm also director, Kansai Japan India Culture Society, Kobe, Japan. I'm a senior advisor in the India-Japan Business Desk Culture and Company, which is a law firm in New Delhi. And I'm an ex-managing director, Sharp India Limited. All right. Today's topics for discussion is number one, secrets of Japan's recovery after the World War II. You may have or have not heard about it. Number two, beyond Industry 4.0. I think all know about Industry 4.0, but I'm going to talk about beyond that. Number three, career opportunities, the main topic of today in Japan. And I'd like to tell you something about a good academic academic opportunity in Japan at International University of Japan. And number four, lastly, how to survive in a VUCA world. We are living in a VUCA world. Have you heard about that? But anyway, I'll show you. The first thing I like to share with you all is a world map from the global standard, which you're very familiar with. See, this is a global map and global standard map that you are familiar with since long time back. And in this map, the world looks very, very strange for me because Japan looks very far away from the United States. But that is not true because we all Japanese people are looking at the world this way. Look at this. How do you think it looks? See, Japan is located in between the United States and India, and the United States of America on the western coast is much, much closer than you may think. And it is closer than Europe even. So it's a totally different perspective that you can look at it. See? Now, in 1979, a book was published by a professor, American professor at Harvard University. The book was titled very sensational, as it said, Japan is number one. But more importantly, the subtitle is Lessons for America. Okay? So let me tell you about this story, but from my perspective only. The fact was, in 1968, Japan has made its number two position in the world in terms of GDP over West Germany at the time and only next to USA. Just imagine and remember when the World War II ended. Do you remember when was that? It was in 1945. See, 1945. Excuse me. The two atomic bombs dropped by the Americans ended the war. And on the August 15th of 1945, Japan surrendered to the Allies, and that made the end of the war. So coincidentally, 15th of August, you Indian people are celebrating your independence, while we at Japanese, we are not celebrating it, but we are remembering all the souls fought for the nation, for the last war. So 15th of August, coincidentally, it's a memory day for you and for us. Look at that. Look at back Hiroshima. It was like this, looking very disaster and all ashes, 1945. Now Hiroshima is rebuilt very, very dramatically. It's a city, one of the modern city of Japan, academic, industrial, and culture city. Now, let me tell you about the secrets of Japan's success story of recovery, because in 1945, disaster and defeat, complete devastation happened in Japan all over in 1945. And in 1968, Japan has made number two position in the world, only 23 years later. Can you believe that? So I think there are some secrets I also myself as a second generation after the war felt and experienced. So let me go through it. Number one, Japanese people are very hardworking people. And in my case, I was not even claiming for overtime pay, how much I will be paid. I didn't care. Number two, obey all the set rules. It's a very basic common virtue of life. Number three, punctual to schedule. If you went to Japan anytime, you must have felt how the punctuality of Japanese is. Punctual Punctuality in Japan means punctual to the minute, not to the minutes. Okay, that's the difference. At all offices, there are chore, the morning meeting, and yure, that means evening meeting at every team every day. Okay? They all share the information themselves. Number four, intensive planning and its implementation on schedule. So intensive planning is made to the very details, and once it is approved, the implementation gets on flow, on schedule. Number five, horenso. It's a very typical word of Japanese management style. Horenso is a combination of three words in Japanese language. PDCA, PDCA is an English word of management cycle: plan, do, check, and act. So horenso is a combination of three words. Ho means hokoku in long term, reporting in English. Ren means rendaku in short, and meaning informing. And so is a sodan in long term, and in English, consulting. So you have to do reporting, informing, consulting with your boss every day. That is a management style. TQC, you may have heard about it, total quality control, which is represented by the two words 5S and Kaizen, as a very daily practice by all. Then teamwork rather than a standing play by individual. This is very, very important point that you may want to learn in Japan. Teamwork made all the success stories possible. Consensus decision making is another very, very, very specific Japanese style of management. By Ringi system is a typical name. Okay. And lifetime employment. I'm a good example. I have worked for one company, Sharp Corporation, as long as 37 years after my graduation from the college and till my retirement. See, the lifetime employment was another factor. Why it was possible? Because of the two things: job rotations and progressive promotion system. I don't have much time to go through this, but just to let you know that how Japan has made such a quick recovery after the devastating and defeat from the war. Okay, so you may want to learn many of those secrets in Japan when you go and work there. 5S Kaizen is typical manufacturing tips as well. Now, in the March 2022, the prime ministers, the both prime ministers, noted that since elevation of ties to a special strategic and global partnership, there had been significant growth in economic cooperation. They expressed their shared intention to realize Japanese yen, 5 trillion Japanese yen, which is about 3 trillion rupees, of public and private investment in financing from Japan to India in the next 5 years. It's a huge amount of money coming into India. The two prime ministers recalled the establishment of the Japan-India Industrial Competitiveness Partnership in November 2021 and welcomed the formulation of a roadmap under the IJICP to further promote industry cooperation between the two countries, including in the areas of MSME, manufacturing, and supply chains. See? Two prime ministers recognized that digital technologies would play an increasingly important role in the post-COVID world and welcomed the growing cooperation under the Japan-India digital partnership with a view to enhancing digital economy through promotion of joint projects for digital transformation, support to provide opportunities for Indian IT professionals to work in Japan and Japanese companies, and collaboration made in the area of IoT, AI, and other emerging technologies. They share the view to further cooperate in various fields like 5G, Open RAN, telecom network security, submarine cable systems, and quantum communications. So, yeah, those are the important points. See, for example, the demand for non-Japanese engineers are like this. IT engineering is a field in which there are a lot of opportunities for non-Japanese who possesses sufficient skills to work in Japan. There are 28,000 non-Japanese IT engineers working in Japan currently, comprising about only 3% of all IT engineers in Japan, according to the Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry. The ministry projects that Japan will face a deficit or the demand of 789,000 software engineers by 2030, a gap that non-Japanese engineers are well positioned to help fill. So just imagine IT sector is most demanded and welcomed for Indian IT specialists. Start learning Japanese language today, not tomorrow. Let's build a solid partnership for a prosperous future together. Okay, that is all for me today. Thank you. Thank you for your attention.